Well, we made it to 199 episodes. What's going on? It's Mistress Carrie. Welcome to Cocktails in the War Room, episode 199, which does not even seem like it's possible, but it totally is. It all started back on March 14th of 2020. We rode out the height of the pandemic together 80 nights in a row. And then in June of 2020, we turned Cocktails in the War Room into a weekly show. And here we are 199 episodes later. And with me, as always, is Garth. If you're new to the show, Wednesday the Goth Pug is my co-host. She joins me here on the green couch in the War Room every Tuesday night at 8:30. And wait until you guys see, I'm going to have to post it after the show, the picture that I took of Wednesday, literally right here where I'm sitting while I was setting up the show tonight. She could not wait for the show to get started. She gets more and more excited about the show every week. And as you can tell, she is on time and raring to go. And it's not because she loves the show. Let's not get it twisted. Wednesday loves the cookies, which is exactly why she's here right now, because she wants the treats. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining me here in the War Room. For anybody that's new to the War Room, welcome. Let us know in the comments that this is your first time. And also let us know where you're joining us from. And this is actually a room in my house we call the War Room, which is where all of my military memorabilia is. And it's also where the bar is, which is why anytime anyone comes to the house, this is where they want to drink and have cocktails, which is exactly how the show got named in the first place. So what's up, Rachel? Hey, Kathy. Cheryl joining us. Elsa's here. Jillian's here. Thomas, Ryan joining us here in the War Room. What's up, Donna? Travis, what's going on? Bish is here. Get a Godsmack shirt at the show. Yes, I did. We'll talk about that coming up. Let's see. Welcome to the new family member, says Donna. Happy late anniversary, says Christine. I will warn you guys that it is a mocktail night for me tonight. Just doing a little bit of seltzer. I wanted to do it in my fancy blue mason jars tonight, which is something that I do a lot of time in the summertime. They have them in purple too, but I haven't been able to get a whole set of the purple ones, but I have a whole set of the blue ones. I did a lot of work outside today, and the last couple days I have been battling some pretty bad leg cramps while I'm sleeping, and so I am trying to super hydrate the next couple of days. I've been eating bananas like crazy, and I'm just trying to figure out if I just got severely dehydrated over the weekend. Lots was going on, so I'm ultra hydrating tonight, so if you're drinking, have one for me. But tonight, it's all about the water and the seltzer tonight. So, what's up, Josh? Erica says, it was nice seeing you at the Godsmack show. Been listening to you for years. Thanks for hanging out with us, Erica. Jillian says, looking forward to September 16th Shinedown. I believe the Shinedown show is September 13th. Am I wrong? I thought it was the 13th. What, Wednesday? What? Are you looking for one of these? Is that what you want? Yeah. I was just going to say bananas, says Carol. Mr. Fit says, Carrie, just jumping in, not recording tonight, but stepping in the shower real quick, chiming in for a few minutes. Richard, did you need to let us know, especially the ladies in here? It's already hot enough. Now you got to talk about it's time to get in the shower. Let's see. Always stay hydrated, says Thomas. Get a heat wrap going on those legs. It improves circulation. It is the 13th, says Christine. Yeah, I thought it was the 13th, which is why we're going to have to move Cocktails in the War Room that night, because I'm going to be at the show, and the show falls on a Tuesday, and it's going to be a little difficult. That's right. In this moment is with Nothing More, and I believe the Cherry Bombs is at the new MGM Music Hall at Fenway on the 16th. We got a lot to talk about, including the MGM Music Hall. So lots going on. Welcome to the War Room. No, in New Hampshire, it's the 16th. Oh, okay. Well, that makes more sense then. The SNHU Arena, or is it at the Bank of New Hampshire Pavilion? Probably the Pavilion, right? Get in all of those outdoor shows while you can. Let's see. Did you make birthday plans yet, Brett? Don't skip ahead of the show. We got to talk about a lot of stuff tonight. It's going to be a jam-packed show, so we got to get it moving. Ready for a four-legger to play with, so I won't think of dehydrated. Remember, heat wave, Los Angeles area. Ugh, it is so hot in LA. It's hot here, too. And Wednesday, has a cooling bed. She has her own personal fan. But I had the windows open in the house all day today. And I thought by now the house would have cooled down, and I'm fairly certain the air conditioning is getting turned on tonight because it is sticky and it is hot and it's like a swoob level. Like, what do you think, Wednesday? 8.7 swoob level tonight, you think? You think? Is that what it is? Yeah. Good girl. Once again, as you can see, Wednesday continuing the clinginess that has been like the last few weeks or almost a month now. Jillian says Bank of New Hampshire Pavilion. That's what I thought. I want to pet Wednesday, says Amanda. The thing with Wednesday is that right here on her head, it's like velvet. She is so soft right here. Oh, it's like heaven on earth. Michelle says I got the AC cranking. Yeah, I definitely should have, but we were just hanging out all day, and Wednesday was laying on the cool tile floor. Sit down. Sit. Good girl. And she's got her own personal fan. And then obviously MCHQ is climate controlled because of all the equipment in there. I got to keep it cool in there. So get down. Good girl. Jonathan says traffic for Gillette in the Xfinity Center was crazy. Yeah, for anybody that went to Corn on Friday night, they knew that traffic was going to be bad on 95 and 495 because not only was it Barefoot Nation or whatever they call it, Shoeless Nation or whatever at Gillette, but it was also Corn and Evanescence at the Xfinity Center. Heather says, tomorrow is my birthday. Well, Heather, make sure that we wish you a happy birthday when we do birthdays a little bit later on in the show. We will cheers to that. Amanda says, I am her own personal fan. Yeah, exactly. Swass meter was a 20 today, says Bish. Yeah, it's been pretty sticky, and it's just like anytime I walk the dogs, if Zero's here for a play date or whatever, I always do it barefoot because if the ground is too hot for me, it's too hot for them. And that's kind of how I gauge everything. And today the pavement was pretty hot, so I just took them on the grass instead. But Josh says, I saw Slipknot at the Xfinity. What's up, Jay? Thank you for joining us. So we got a lot to go over on the show today. So first, let me, before I shut Wednesday's cute-ass pug cam off, let me find tonight's drink. It's in here somewhere. Hey! Here we go. Wednesday just took off. I could have turned the camera off a while ago, but all right, let's talk about tonight's cocktail recipe, shall we? So if you're new to the War Room, this is something we started early on in the show. Then we got rid of it for a while. Then we brought it back. I've got a bunch of cocktail bartender books here in the War Room. And so we're always looking for new and fresh drinks to make, new ideas, especially to use some of that weird alcohol that people buy you for your birthday or around the holidays. And during the pandemic, before we realized that they weren't going to close the Packies, which, by the way, anybody from outside of New England, that means the package store or the liquor store, we were starting to worry that we might have to drink all the weird liquor in the back of the cabinet that no one ever touches, those dusty bottles. So we started looking to get creative with the bartender's books. And we brought it back because now not only are we looking for drink recipes, but we are also looking for the spectacular and perfect drink garnish recipes, the accoutrement, if you will. I believe that we have not done this drink before. It's called the Tropical Storm. Did we do this one yet? It's hard to keep track. There have been 199 episodes. We've probably done at least 125 drink recipes, so it's kind of hard. And I'm a little shiny in here in the War Room right now. The Tropical Storm contains 2 ounces of golden rum, which is something that I'm really not all that familiar with. It's like, I know the dark rum, I know the dark spicy rum, I know the clear rum. The golden rum is not something that you see a lot of, or at least I haven't. But there's 2 ounces of rum, an ounce of vodka, an ounce of fresh orange juice, a half an ounce of fresh lime juice, a half an ounce of pineapple juice, a dash of grenadine, and a dash of bitters. And then you blend the ingredients until smooth, and then pour it into an ice-filled highball glass and serve, which I think anything that's going to have pineapple and orange juice in it, I'm already there. But then when you put the grenadine in there, we're automatically going to the umbrella, the sword, something to put pineapple, orange, and cherry slices on there. That's a given. But what else? Hair is looking good. Thanks, Jen. I'm a little bit warm tonight. So I've had 2 pina coladas tonight, says Bish. You need a fan right now. I got one on me. Yeah, I do need a fan. Then I'll have the hair flowing. I'll look like I'm in a Beyonce video. But I could use a fan. The only problem with putting a fan on is that it's going to create the noise in the microphone. Ooh, crushed ice, Eric. We know crushed ice is absolute and total goat. Kathy says no bitters. Yeah, I mean, the bitters, I could go either way, although this book was put together by professional bartenders. So, I mean, the bitters is probably something that they think is going to make it better. I don't know. Jen says she's eating ice cream right now. Oh. I went last week, my old boss from WAF, Joe, was back on the East Coast moving his son into college, and I took him to Rota Spring Farm and had my favorite ice cream there, which is the pistachio. It's, to me, the best pistachio ice cream I've ever had, and it was so good. I've wanted to eat it every day since, and you can't eat a giant bowl of Rota Spring Farm pistachio ice cream every day and expect to have your bed not collapse. So I have been fighting the urge to go back there. What's up, Sean? Joining us here in the war room. Did you guys just see Wednesday? Yeah, well, you're back. Do you want to come sit over here? Do I have any more cookies? No, I don't. I don't have any more. Come over here. Now she's going to be mad because I don't have any more cookies, but I got her back on the camera anyway. I don't have any more. I'm sorry. You can just sit with us, though. Can you just sit with us? So I don't know what else we would garnish this with unless it was something maybe key lime related I thought would be really good. You could, I don't know, maybe put some vanilla ice cream in there, which could be kind of delicious. I'm all about making things with ice cream right now because like Labor Day weekend is coming up. And then pretty soon it's going to be fall and everything is going to be pumpkin spice and cinnamon flavored. And I want all the tropical stuff right now. I want to keep all the fruit stuff going. Yeah, coconut, exactly. Rota Spring is the best, says Kathy. You know, good ice cream. Kimball's is great too, but Rota Spring Farm is amazing. Thomas says, say goodbye to the pillows. She literally has been knocking them down and I've been putting them back up all night. So anyway, that's called the Tropical Storm. I thought that sounded delicious. I try to find the really fruity tropical drinks when it's super hot in the war room like it is tonight. So good girl, Wednesday. Good girl. That pot on her head right here. It's so soft. Doesn't her tongue look like a piece of boiled ham? Look at it. Like you could just take it out of her mouth and make a sandwich out of it. A little mustard, American cheese on your little tongue. I know it's weird. I'm sorry. Your mom is awkward. Right? Last night she fell asleep holding my hand. Like put her paw on my hand and just fell asleep like that. It was super adorable. Let's see. Hide my pumpkin spice latte chai from view. Yeah, exactly, Rachel. You shouldn't be drinking pumpkin spice anything until after Labor Day. Come on, you're wishing away Christmas, and that's some bullshit. All right, we got a lot to talk about. Let me first fill you in on a recent development. Vegas Here we come. So I have been asked to go to The Gathering, which is a massive radio convention in Vegas. It's happening at the end of September. I was invited to come out and go to the convention. A couple reasons why I'm going to go. First of all, I just want to see everybody that's going to be there. My hair is driving me crazy. Hold on. Whew. You guys would be amazed at how like sweaty your ears can get from wearing headphones all night. So obviously I want to see all of my friends that work in rock radio in Vegas. That's number one. Number two, the last event of the 3-day convention is Godsmack in Vegas. That's the number two reason. The number three reason, Godsmack finishes up, and then at midnight, it's my birthday. And so I am headed to Vegas. It's not going to disrupt the War Room schedule in any way, but I am going to be taking you guys with me, especially if you have a Mistress Carrie Backstage Pass. We are headed to Vegas at the end of September. I also sent Uncle Froggy a quick text message because since I'm going to be out there the weekend of my birthday, I am hoping. I have not seen Uncle Froggy in, let me think, 16 years, 15 years. He doesn't make it back to the East Coast barely at all. And most of his family is in the Pacific Northwest now. So he lives outside of Vegas. And I sent him a message today. He only received texts because he doesn't know how to send texts. So I sent him a text message and said, I'm going to call you. I'm waiting to get all of my flight information confirmed to find out when is going to be the best opportunity for me to drive out and visit Uncle Froggy, who was featured, I believe it's on episode 14 of the Mistress Carrie podcast, if you're wondering who I'm talking about. So, pretty excited about the possibility of seeing Uncle Frog. Pretty excited. I think it's the last night of the Godsmack tour before they head to Europe. And so I'm super excited about that. So more on the Vegas trip is coming, but this just got settled over the last couple of days. So I wanted to let you guys know, obviously, if you have a Mistress Carrie Backstage Pass, you will know more. Now, speaking of Godsmack, I want to fill you guys in on the MGM Grand, or I should say the MGM Music Hall at Fenway show that happened Saturday night. It was the first annual 617 Rocks Foundation concert. It was at the brand new MGM Music Hall at Fenway, and it was the first official concert there. And so the show went off without a hitch. They did have a couple problems with some plumbing and stuff at the venue. It was opening night, so there's always going to be kinks to work out. The crowd was amazing. They raised over $100,000 before all of us walked in the door that night, thanks to all of the corporate partnerships and sponsors. They raised over $10,000 just in the sale of this T-shirt that they gave me to put on and wear on stage about 22 seconds before I went out to make all of the stage announcements. So if you see all the pictures of me on stage that night, I'm a goddamn mess because literally was racing to get backstage, trying to navigate. It was like Spinal Tap. Hello, Cleveland. They gave me the shirt. I didn't even have a chance to take the other shirt off, just threw it on there, went out on the stage. But I want to thank everybody. They made a limited amount of these Godsmack shirts. So thanks to everybody that bought them. The shirts raised, I think, another $10,000, which was amazing. And the concert was awesome. I think anybody that was there saw just how great this new venue is. It's right around the corner from Fenway. There was a baseball game that night. So between the show at the House of Blues, the show at the MGM, and the 4:00 Red Sox game, parking can get a little squirrely. So I will give you this piece of advice that if you're going to the MGM, number one, check the baseball schedule. Number two, check and see if there's anybody playing at the House of Blues. And if there is, you may want to try and park somewhere closer to the Prue and then walk over because it can be a little difficult. I know that you could take the commuter rail there. Taking the T has been a little weird because the Orange Line, they've been doing all of those repairs. But just leave early and be prepared for the traffic issues of trying to find a place to park, especially if there's a Red Sox game. But Sully, we had an absolute blast at the show. This is where the band, when they play hometown shows, Godsmack has what they call a family room. And that's for everybody that needs kind of a place to go. It kind of keeps people like me out of the dressing room. It keeps the family, the wives, the kids, the parents, the aunts, uncles. They set up a family room that has food and booze and has couches and water. And the family gets passes to be able to come and go from that room. It has a private bathroom in there. But it's how Godsmack kind of handles having so much family in town. Covered up my logo there. It's how Godsmack kind of handles having all the family around because it's a hometown show for them. So, and then this was just all the lights that everybody was lighting up. I believe that was when Sully was playing Under Your Scars, and just the view from one of the side stages, one of the seats, just completely unobstructed views. Awesome. Better than I expected. Does not disappoint, says Beth. Producer Mike says it was awesome in there. So there are a couple of things that I noticed being in there for a concert. Nobody was waiting in line for drinks. There are so many bartenders. The bars are so long there. And also the line for the bathroom ladies, incredibly short because there were so many stalls. So you might have to hunt for a place to park down there, but getting inside, once you got in there, waiting for drinks and bathroom stuff, which is normally what sucks about going to shows, was like really no lines at all, which was awesome. Jane says, great venue. Looked up on YouTube videos of that night. Sully's connection with the audience is why I became a fan. They're fantastic. Yeah, Betty, I mean, especially a hometown show. You know, anytime Godsmack plays at home, it's like, you know, we realized when we took this picture that I've pretty much known Sully for half my life. Just a little under half, but basically half my life, which blows my mind. It's insane. And so we had a great time. I mean, I saw his daughter there, who is a full-blown adult now. I used to hold her swaddled. I was there the day she was born. It's just crazy. Matter of fact, I announced her birth live on the air, and I've got it on cassette somewhere. That's how long this goes back. So it's kind of crazy. So that show was awesome. I want to say what's up to everybody that I got to meet at the MGM Music Hall at Fenway. On Sunday, I was honored to take part in an amazing fundraiser, and it was at the Southwick Zoo. And a really good friend of mine that I've known for years and years and years, my friend Jay, who is an Army and Marine Corps veteran, he's a skydiving friend of mine, really got into mountain climbing, climbed Mount Kilimanjaro, and fell in love with the people of Tanzania. Spent a lot of time down there. And he ended up opening an orphanage there because he fell in love with the kids. And there was such an abundance of orphans that needed help down there. And just like so many of our veterans, even though he's not in uniform anymore, he's always looking to help people. So he started an organization. COCO is the Children of Kilimanjaro Orphanage. That's what it stands for. You can get more details on it at helpcoco.org. Just like last year, I got a call from the amazing people at the Town Fair Tire Foundation. And once a year, they call me and they offer me $1,000 to give to a nonprofit of my choice. And they always reach out and ask me, do you have a charity in mind? And I knew that this fundraising event at the zoo was coming up. They've partnered with COCO to help sponsor the kids that are at this orphanage. And I said, yes, that this orphanage, they take care of these kids. They go to school full time. As the kids get older, they're going to put them through college. They're going to put them through trade school. They're going to help them enter the workforce. And it was all started by a Marine and Army veteran. And Town Fair Tire was like, who do we write the check out to? And so right off the bat, when I walked in that day, I had $1,000 in my hand from the people at the Town Fair Tire Foundation. So I want to say thank you so much to Town Fair Tire for helping to make this an amazing event. Because I've known Jay for so long through the skydiving community, there were a lot of my original skydiving friends, a lot of people that live around the country that don't live here anymore, that I only get to kind of keep in touch with through Facebook. And maybe once a year, maybe once every few years, they come back to New England and we're able to maybe go skydiving together. And so that's what this picture is right here. It is a huge group of people that all were jumping with me when I got my license far too long ago to discuss. And while we were there, I realized that my original instructors were both there. And we don't all live in the same state anymore. And we haven't all been together, the three of us, since I believe 2004. And so I went combing through my phone to find this old picture. This is the picture in the summer of 99. I made my first skydive as a tandem in 1998. And in the summer of 99, I started taking the accelerated freefall course to get my license. This is right before my first solo jump, and my instructors jumped with me, just not attached to me. And so that's the picture right before my first jump. That's Wild Man over here and Cookie over here. And that was right before my first ever solo jump. And this was us reenacting that photo 23 years later over the weekend. And we're still friends to this day. I absolutely just love these guys, love all of these people so much. They traveled from all around the country to come into town for the weekend to help support Jay. That's Jay down there that started Coco. And it was just an amazing weekend. And one of the things that you can do is you can actually travel to Tanzania and stay at the orphanage and volunteer there and work with the kids. And it's just unbelievable. It is on my bucket list of things to do, to be able to go down there. They have over 30 kids that are there. And if you go on the website, one of the things that they're always posting about is what your money can be used for. There are a lot of orphanages in Tanzania, and by law, 10 cents of every dollar has to go towards benefiting the kids. Only 10 cents for every dollar. Coco donates 100% of all of the proceeds to benefit the kids. And a $50 donation down there goes so far that they're always posting up, well, for $15, you know, like they're always showing videos of the kids eating apples, which is something that are expensive down there. And so just little things like that. They're always showing the kids, you know, their first taste of Rice Krispie treats or macaroni and cheese, or they show the kids getting new school uniforms or new play clothes. And it's just unbelievable to see someone start something from a completely selfless place. That Jay just traveled there, fell in love with the people, made lifelong friends there, and worked with the locals to be able to develop and build this amazing place. And these kids are going to grow up and have their lives completely changed. And it's because of my friend Jay. And he's amazing. So once again, thank you to Town Fair Tire Foundation for their generous $1,000 donation. And thanks to everybody that supported it. And if you can just go to the website and check it out, I think you'll be really moved with the amazing efforts that are being made to help these kids. And just to know that it all comes from an Army and Marine Corps veteran from right here in Massachusetts is just spectacular. So that does not scare you. Jen says, are you talking about skydiving? No, not at all. I've been doing it for 24 years now. No, absolutely love it. Let's see. Eric says, hey, all the Long Island Ducks are still in the pennant race, so I have to leave y'all, but it was fun here in the war room. Take care. All right, Eric, have a good time with the game. That's why the Red Cross is a scam. They only donate 10 cents from every dollar, says Keith. I always get conflicted criticizing organizations that I know do a lot of great work. Always so happy to donate blood through the Red Cross. Always aware that the bureaucracy that's required to run a global organization that's at the ready to tackle disasters at a moment's notice. It's people have asked me over and over again why I never started like the Mistress Carrie Foundation. And it's because I would much rather be able to support amazing things like what Jay is doing, because Jay's the expert when it comes to these kids and helping these orphans, and just knowing that you're changing these kids' lives, that some of them want to grow up and be seamstresses. And so they'll buy them sewing machines so that they can learn how to sew, or to be farmers, or if they want to go to college and become doctors, or it's really, really amazing. And so I have a hard time criticizing organizations because it takes a monumental effort to be able to organize, and not everyone can just volunteer all their time. Like, I wish that I could just not have to work and just volunteer all of my time, but that's just not possible. So, but just know that if you support Coco, 100% of the proceeds go to helping the kids, because only the people that work with the kids in Tanzania are getting paid. But all of the fundraising, all the volunteer efforts, Jay goes down to Tanzania all the time, and he'll be there for like 3 weeks to a month. All of that's out of his own pocket just because he loves it so much. So I just wanted to call attention not only to this amazing organization and my amazing friend, but also to Town Fair Tire, because they don't even do it for the mentions. They raise money and they want to do good with it. And to get a phone call that's like, we have $1,000 for you to donate to a charity that means something to you, is kind of amazing. All right, I want to let you guys know that if you go to the blog at mistresscarrie.com, I was recently on the Party Like a Rockstar podcast, and I was with Carlota Gonzalez, who is a very well-known female rock DJ from the West Coast. And so her and I got paired up together to kind of talk about rock radio from a female perspective, to talk about how the industry's changed since we both got into it. It's a really interesting conversation. It's up on YouTube, but if you go to my blog at mistresscarrie.com, the link is right up there and you can check that out. And I think you'll really enjoy it. All right. Like I said, we got a lot to get to, so let's talk about the podcast. Episode 116, last week's episode of the Mistress Carrie podcast, featured Giovanni Yanez from Giovanni and the Hired Guns. This is one of those newer bands that I told you from the start was one of the reasons why I wanted to start the podcast in the first place. Is that, yes, there are a lot of amazing bands that you have known for years that I want to keep you in touch with. But because there is no rock station that has the purpose of breaking new rock bands the way that WAAF used to, I really want to be able to use the podcast to showcase artists like this that are grabbing the torch of rock and roll and doing something different with it and driving it forward. You got this band of guys that was brought up listening to their parents' Tejano music, and also grew up listening to bands like ZZ Top and Stevie Ray Vaughan in Texas, but also grew up inspired by the Deftones and System of a Down and Korn. And that's how you end up with Giovanni and the Hired Guns. And it's exactly why I want to be able to showcase these bands to you guys, because I want you to know that they're out there. I want you to see the next generation of rock bands that are coming up, because they offer something different. Just like with a lot of the female artists that I have on the podcast, there are so many artists that are bringing all of these different heritage experiences, all of these different just upbringing experiences, musical inspiration experiences. But the thing that brings us all together, not just here in the War Room, but all of these artists as well, is their love of rock music. Old, young, white, black, Asian, Latinx, whatever it is, The rock music is what binds us all together. And Giovanni and the Hired Guns is a perfect example. Giovanni and I hit it off amazingly well. He's such a sweet guy. The only reason he got upset with me is because I put pineapple on my pizza. Giovanni will talk about that more in depth when you come to Boston, as we discussed in this week's podcast. Exactly, Christina. Pineapple pizza. Yes. Mark says they are fantastic. Skydive with no pants. Mark, let me tell you what. I've gone skydiving in lingerie. I've seen guys skydive naked. It's not nice. It's not glamorous, and it's not comfortable. There's no reason to skydive naked from an aeroplane. Okay? I don't care what Motley Crue says. You don't want to do it. But I love that you guys here in the War Room and people that are listening to the Mistress Carrie podcast are giving these bands a chance. I love that you guys will go, you know what? I'm going to listen to this podcast. I'm going to go into the links. I'm going to check out the corresponding playlist, and I'm going to give this band a shot. I want to see what's going on. And like with Aaron Jones, like with Plush, like with Diamante, and so many other artists that we've showcased here in the podcast and here in the War Room, these artists are driving forward and doing new things and really finding a place. Nita Strauss stepping out from playing with Alice Cooper. She's getting ready to release her second solo album finally. She released a new instrumental this week. There's so much great new rock music out there, and I love the fact that you guys are giving these bands a chance. Amanda says, do you think that the next generation understands the rock that we grew up with? 100%. 100%. And Giovanni's a perfect example. Giovanni grew up inspired by ZZ Top and Stevie Ray Vaughan in Texas. These bands, as you hear me ask them in the podcast all the time, are growing up exposed to the music from their mom and dad, from their uncles, their older brothers and sisters. Zakk Wylde talks about the neighbors that were next door exposing him to some of the rock music that helped to shape him becoming the guitar player that he became. And so what's happening with these new artists, I'll use somebody like Corey Taylor as an example, who has inspired countless new musicians. And Corey Taylor is so quick to credit artists like Black Sabbath, to credit all of those 80s metal bands, to credit artists like Pink Floyd or AC/DC, and say those are the bands that I grew up wanting to emulate. The early Metallica, and saying that's what made me fall in love with rock music. That's what made me want to pick up a guitar and start writing songs. And so when Corey Taylor says that, these new bands that idolize Corey Taylor are starting to go back to the Sabbaths and the Zeppelins and to go back through all of that. I mean, you heard Jeremy Popoff from Lit talking about how they grew up so inspired by all of those 80s metal bands, especially the British metal in the early 80s. Like, that's those artists talking about what inspired them are inspiring a whole new generation of fans. Mark says the playlist was awesome. I love that you guys are checking out the playlist, because not only are you going to get like Giovanni and the Hired Guns, but you're going to get all of these like Tejano artists that are in there, the Cumbia Kings, and you're getting exposed to a whole new world's worth of music out there too. By the way, the Cumbia Kings, that's Selena's brother's band. Selena, that was portrayed by Jennifer Lopez. That's his band that Giovanni cites as inspiration in the music that he grew up listening to. So yeah, Jelly Roll is another example, Jen. Exactly. That an artist that, you know, just was like, look, I grew up listening to hip hop. I grew up listening to country, but I could not get away from the rock and roll that I grew up listening to as well. And you squish it all together and something new comes out. And it's pretty awesome. The new Aaron Jones song, by the way, is called Filthy. It's so good. So good. It came out last week. Yeah, exactly, Chris. Judas Priest, the Iron Maidens, all of that stuff. So Thank you guys for checking out this episode. When I find out that Giovanni and the Hired Guns are coming to Boston, I will let you know because I want to show up in force to welcome them to Boston. And then I'm going to take them out for pizza and I'll just get half pineapple. All right. The podcast is not about or just about keeping you guys informed with what's new. It's also about keeping you guys in contact with amazing bands from our childhood. And this week's episode is one of those episodes. Episode 117 of the Mistress Carrie podcast features the one and only Michael Tunes Antune. He is the saxophone player from John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band. He is the first saxophonist I've had on the show since the podcast launched. There have been so many discussions about my clarinet. I was so excited to have another reed instrument player on the podcast. Tunes is 82 years old and still playing the saxophone with John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band. They actually have a charity show coming up at Kowloon, and it's happening, I believe, September 24th. You can go to why? There we go. Sorry, there was a typo. So drink, everybody. It's Tunes, not Tune. Go to the calendar at mistresscarrie.com. They are playing a show at Kowloon coming up towards the end of September. And it is veterans supporting St. Jude, which is pretty awesome. Some of the things I learned about Tunes. He's 82. He's an Air Force veteran. He has 11 children. 11 children. If you guys remember the Zildjian Cymbals episode and you heard me talking to Sarah about synesthesia, Tunes has it. And we talked about it in the episode, that he sees colors when he hears and plays music, which is unbelievable. We talked about Eddie and the Cruisers, obviously. We talked about his love of the saxophone, about the amazing musical heritage that runs through his family. He ran through the genealogy of his family. He is able to name all 11 kids, all the grandkids, all the great-grandkids. He's got a great-great-granddaughter that's 2 and another great-great-grandchild on the way. This guy is a fucking legend. And I was so excited. He's so funny. He has a book of poetry, and he actually read poems to me on this week's episode. And he is just one of those guys that has seen so much in rock and roll. He is so patriotic. He has got such a long lineage of military service in his family, which we discuss. He's got a long history of, he was actually an Air Force police officer. He's got a long history of law enforcement in the family, which is something else we talked about. And I just couldn't love him more. And I was so excited when I found out that he wanted to come on the show. And so I was like, hell yeah. Originally, it was going to be like 10 minutes because they wanted to promote this big charity show that they're doing at Kowloon. And once Tunes and I started talking, we just kept talking. And finally, I was like, he had pulled over on the side of the road to record the interview. And this is the second episode that you hear birds in the background, but not through the whole thing, just through some of it, because he pulled over on the side of the road and rolled the windows down during the interview, and you can hear the birds outside. And I was like, I gotta let this poor fucking guy get home. He's pulled over because he didn't want the phone to shut off or like hit a dead zone while he was driving. I'm sweating like a pig in here. Holy shit. So he just pulled over and I was like, I need to let Tunes get home. He's 82 years old. But this guy has literally discovered the fountain of youth. I could not be happier that he was on the show. I wanted to talk to him for 7 hours. He's such an interesting guy. And Amanda says, I want to put him in my pocket. He sounds adorable. He's amazing. He's absolutely amazing. And I am so excited for you guys to hear this week's episode. So the corresponding playlist, not only is it filled with obviously all of the stuff from the Eddie and the Cruisers soundtrack and John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band, but I also filled it with some of the biggest and best rock songs that feature the saxophone. And so the soundtrack for this episode is epic. So episode 117 of the Mistress Carrie podcast goes live at midnight tonight. Episode 117 featuring Michael Tunes from John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band. And if you love the podcast and you subscribe to the podcast, you're also going to get the sit rep, which you can get Monday through Friday. It is all of your rock news, music headlines, entertainment updates, all of that. You get it in 5 minutes and you get it every weekday. And it's all through the Pantheon Podcast Network. There's a lot going on with Pantheon right now. There's actually a pretty cool contest that's coming up that I'm going to fill you in on in a minute. That's through Pantheon. So there's a lot going on. But definitely check out the sit rep. And if you're wondering where to listen to the podcast, you can listen to it in all of these places. It's available pretty much everywhere you listen to podcasts. All the big outlets, some of the more boutique outlets, wherever it is that you like to get your audio from, you can get it. Apple, Google, Spotify, Odyssey, iHeart, Stitcher, Pandora, Deezer, Overcast, Player FM, TuneIn, CastBox, Mozilla, Podcast Addict, Amazon. There's a ton of places. And the sit rep you get 5 times a week. Plus you get the full length episodes on Wednesday. And then you never know when you're going to get a bonus episode as well. And this week, once again, I'm telling you guys, the international audience is growing. I'm watching the countries kind of shift 6 to 10, but the top 5 countries remain the same. The Mistress Carrie podcast holding strong at 130 countries, and Canada is number 2, UK is number 3, Russia is number 4, and Singapore holding in, rounding out the top 5. We got a lot of music headlines we got to get to too. Want to let you guys know that the Trinity of Terror tour, Ice Nine Kills, was just at the big horror convention in Danvers over the weekend. And they're getting ready to go out on the road on the Trinity of Terror tour once again with Motionless in White and Black Veil Brides. Atreyu is going to be on this leg of the tour, and they're going to be at the Songus on November 17th. Robert Plant and Alison Krauss are going to be at the Leaderbank Pavilion coming up fast, September 9th, at Foxwood, September 10th. The Stevie Nicks tour is going to be at the Xfinity on September 19th. The Red Hot Chili Peppers, who just got the Global Icon Award and won Best Rock Video at the VMAs on Sunday night. They have got their new album, Return of the Dream Canteen, coming out on October 14th. And they also are going to be at Fenway coming up on September 10th. So a lot going on with the Chili Peppers. Speaking of Shinedown Jelly Roll, John Harvey at the Xfinity Center on September 13th. The tickets are on sale now. Alice in Chains, Breaking Benjamin, and Bush are finishing up their tour in Massachusetts at the Xfinity Center on October 8th. In this moment, Nothing More, the Cherry Bombs, and Sleep Token are going to be at the MGM Music Hall at Fenway on September 17th. Alter Bridge, Mammoth WVH, and Red. These tickets went on sale this past Friday. They're going to be at the other new venue in Boston, Roadrunner, which is ironically on Guest Street, right across the street from the old radio station. That show is happening in February of 2023, believe it or not. Can't believe we're already putting shows on sale for 2023. Want to remind you guys about this. This is happening this weekend. The first of the 2 Taylor Hawkins tribute concerts is happening on Saturday, live from Wembley Stadium in London. A huge list of artists are going to be there. And Paramount Plus is going to carry it live. It starts at 11:30 a.m. Eastern on Saturday. MTV is going to carry it. CBS is going to edit together like an hour-long special that they're going to carry. But if you want to follow the entire show live, it's going to be on Paramount Plus starting at 11:30 on Saturday morning. And then the second one is going to be in Los Angeles on September 27th. No word yet if they're going to stream that one live, but I would assume they're going to have the same deal with CBS, MTV, Paramount Plus, all of that. So the details on this show, by the way, the links to watch it, all the shows we're talking about, they're all in the event calendar at mistresscarrie.com. Stained is going to be at the Mass Mutual Center in Springfield coming up on September 11th. Joe Satriani is going to be at the Orpheum November 5th. Five Finger Death Punch. Zoltan Bathory, who was just on the podcast a couple weeks ago. Five Finger just released their new album, Afterlife, a couple weeks ago, and they're going to be at the Xfinity with Megadeth, The Who, Fire from the Gods. That show is happening September 18th. AWOL Nation at the House of Blues on October 23rd. We were talking about Corey Taylor and Slipknot earlier. The End So Far is coming out on September 30th, the brand new Slipknot album. Aaron Lewis is going to be at Indian Ranch in Webster with his solo band, the Stateliners, this weekend. Extreme is going to be there on Friday night. They're doing some solo shows before they open up for Aerosmith at the sold-out show at Fenway next week. The Red Hot Chili Peppers are also going to be at Fenway on the 10th. Judas Priest with Queensryche are going to be at the MGM Music Hall at Fenway October 16th. The Munsters, that was written, directed, and produced by the one and only Rob Zombie, is headed to Netflix. The official release date was announced last week, September 27th, so mark your calendar for that. Netflix is also releasing the new Tim Burton series Wednesday as well. Ghost and Mastodon, along with Spirit Box, will be at the Dunkin' Donuts Center September 12th. Jeff Beck, who's featured on the new Ozzy album, also has a new album out with Johnny Depp. He's going to be at the MGM Music Hall on October 6th. Those tickets are on sale right now. New Clutch, that's coming out on September 16th. It's called Slaughter Beach. And Lamb of God and Killswitch Engage are going to be at the MGM Music Hall at Fenway coming up on September 21st. This got announced this week. Matter of fact, I think it got announced last night. The Trans-Siberian Orchestra. This is how you know summer's over, when the TSO announces their massive tour. The Trans-Siberian Orchestra tour got announced, and it's coming to New England. It's going to 60 different cities all around the holidays. All of the tickets go on sale on September 16th, and they're doing a special. Some of the tickets are $29 each. It's going to be a limited amount of tickets, but they're on sale for $29. And there's two shows at Mohegan. There is a matinee and an evening show on November 23rd. November 25th, they're going to be at the SNHU Arena in Manchester, New Hampshire. And then on November 26th, they'll be at the DCU Center in Worcester, Massachusetts. All three of these venues are going to have a matinee show and then an evening show as well. And they are all listed on the events calendar at mistresscarrie.com. Now, we were talking about Megadeth and The Who that are touring with Five Finger Death Punch. Both of them have a new album coming out this Friday. The Who, if you haven't checked out these guys, talk about a new band with a different sound. They're Mongolian. They use traditional Mongolian instruments that they run through guitar amps, and they make heavy metal Mongolian style, and they are unbelievable. They are going to be with Five Finger Death Punch, but their new album, Rumble of Thunder, comes out on Friday. And the new Megadeth album that features Ice-T and Sammy Hagar is called The Sick, the Dying, and the Dead. That comes out on Friday. And the Youngblood self-titled album comes out on Friday, and that features Ozzy as well. So lots of new music coming out. And I was teasing this event with Nick Mason and the Saucer Full of Secrets tour through Pantheon. So two events I want to let you guys know about because I'm going to be at both of them. The Rockfest at Indian Ranch is coming up on September 10th. This has got a full day's worth of amazing tribute bands. So if you're a Bad Company fan, if you're a Pat Benatar fan, if you're a Skynyrd fan, if you're a Foreigner fan, if you're an Aerosmith fan, this is going to be a great day for you. And then coming up on September 22nd at the Schubert Theater in Boston, Nick Mason from Pink Floyd is bringing his Saucer Full of Secrets tour to Boston. Now, part of being part of the Pantheon Podcast Network is that we're going to start doing really cool Pantheon contests. And one of the things that you can do is go to pantheonpodcast.com, and you can enter to have your tickets to the show at the Schubert upgraded to the front row and get a VIP package that includes everything from like autograph stuff from Nick Mason to really cool merch prizes, the whole VIP experience, no waiting in line, like all of that kind of stuff. And you can get all the details at pantheonpodcast.com. But I am also, so one of the things that Nick Mason is doing is he's inviting podcast hosts from all of the different cities that he's going to actually set up and promote our podcast at these shows. And so I'm going to be at the Schubert Theater at the Nick Mason Saucerful of Secrets tour, and pretty excited about it. So that is happening, and all the details on that are on the event calendar at mistresscarrie.com. As far as the mail call goes this week, I got this in the mail today. I got these in the mail today. Originally, I thought they were in the mail because yesterday was my second wedding anniversary, but they came from Barry Feingold and everyone at the 617 Rocks Foundation. And it was their way of thanking me for hosting the show on Saturday night. And I thought that was really sweet. They said it was a massive success. Hold on, I'll read the card. But I just wanted to thank everybody at 617 Rocks. The flowers were beautiful. It says, Mistress Carrie, thank you again for the incredible intro and help with the video and the sponsors on Saturday. We are so grateful for you and that you joined us, and we cannot wait for next year. And it's from Barry and Mary from the 617 Rocks Foundation. So pretty awesome. So I want to thank them for letting me be part of everything. Barry Feingold and the 617 Rocks Foundation has been working to make an annual giant concert-based fundraising event every year. And it was supposed to launch in 2020. Obviously, COVID grounded it in 2020 and in 2021. And so the fact that we were able to pull it off in 2022, and they have a lot of big plans to be able to make this not just something that's at the MGM, but the House of Blues and possibly Fenway in the future. And so pretty excited about that. So I wanted to thank them for the flowers. Eric says, all right, I'm Splitsville. Hope everybody has a great night. All right, good night, Eric. Thank you. All right, let's see. I want to let you guys know that there is a big Labor Day sale coming in the store this weekend. Keep your eyes on social media. And if you have a Mistress Carrie Backstage Pass, you guys are, of course, going to get more of a discount. But I'll be sending out the coupon codes for Labor Day weekend. Oh, my God, I can't stop sweating. For the sale on Labor Day weekend. So if you have a Mistress Carrie Backstage Pass, keep your eyes on the Patreon. And if you don't have a Backstage Pass, keep your eyes on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all of that stuff to get the discount codes to shop at a discount in the Mistress Carrie online store this weekend. If you're celebrating your birthday today, happy birthday. You share it, not with a huge list of artists today, ironically, with Paul Oakenfold and also from the Mamas and the Papas, John Phillips. So happy birthday if today's your birthday. Happy unbirthday, Keith. Cheers to you guys. Elsa says, Keith, I am dying laughing. Is it because I'm sweating? I can't stop sweating. I'm dying over here. I keep referencing the Backstage Pass holders, and it's because there's a lot going on with the Backstage Pass. We do exclusive live streams every month. We're actually getting together Sunday night at 8 o'clock. We're going to chill, put our feet up and have a drink during the long holiday weekend. You can also submit podcast interview questions. You get travel blog updates. So I'm taking you guys to Vegas with me. You get early access to event tickets when we start doing events again. You get exclusive ticket giveaways, and some of the tickets at the Backstage Pass holders that they have access to include Lamb of God and Killswitch Engage, Alice in Chains, Breaking Benjamin and Bush, I Prevail, Shinedown and Jelly Roll. Tickets got added to the Backstage Pass holders. So if you have a Backstage Pass, you guys know how to get the tickets by now. If you don't have a Backstage Pass, you can click the Patreon logo at mistresscarrie.com, or you can just go to patreon.com/mistresscarrie. Either way. But if you got a Backstage Pass, I love seeing you guys, by the way, at shows. You guys, the Backstage Pass holders and everybody from the War Room was coming up to me at the MGM on Saturday night with your War Room t-shirts on, which is always amazing. I know, check, the AC's not on. I made a poor life choice, and I thought opening up all the windows here in the War Room, but the freaking lights in here are making it 10 times more hot than it should be, and I need to turn the AC on. Mark says, Carrie, Cameron Diaz is 50 today. Crazy. Happy birthday to Cameron Diaz. So if you don't have a backstage pass, you got to get hooked up with one. Just a reminder, one of these days, I'm going to get the reverse. I don't know how the weathermen do it. If you are looking for me on social media, here's all the places that you can find me. And a couple things. Somebody early on asked about birthday plans. So because I got invited to go to that convention in Vegas, there were a number of reasons why my husband had talked to me about possibly having like a big family and friend birthday party on my actual birthday, which falls on a Saturday this year. But when I sat down and really thought about it, with everything that's happened in the last few years, everything that's happened with mom, I kind of opted to not have a big birthday party and to just kind of go to Vegas instead and just kind of get out of town and just try to start a new era of my life in a different way. A lot of the time, having a birthday party for yourself means the cooking, the cleaning up, the guest list, all the logistics, and especially the last month with everything that's gone on with mom, I just wasn't up for a big birthday party. I just wasn't up for it. And so as much as it would have been amazing to have like a big giant party, things have just been so hard that I'm just running out of time to throw a party together. And so I've just opted to forego the big birthday party and to kind of recenter myself. It's too good of an opportunity for me not to go to Vegas to this convention, and also to be able to get away with just my husband for a bit, which is something, the trips we've been able to take this summer, which have been amazing, when we went to Key West and also when we went to Wisconsin, we had the whole family with us. And I think my husband and I could really use some alone time. And what better way to kind of go and blow off some steam than to go to Vegas and to go see Godsmack and to go see a bunch of other bands and just kind of start new. So that is kind of the plan behind the birthday. So Eric says Warren Buffett is 91 today. Holy shit. How about details on your birthday party, Carol? That's what I'm saying. I don't think I'm going to have one. I had thought about possibly taking the War Room on the road the week of my birthday. I'm still kind of open to the possibility of the War Room after my birthday, maybe taking the show on deployment, but I haven't settled on a plan yet. I have had just enough strength and energy to keep myself above water with everything that's gone on, especially in the last month with mom. And I just have not been able to put the mental energy together to be able to kind of throw myself a birthday party. Like, it just didn't seem like anything that I could make a priority for. And so I'm still thinking about it. But as far as having like a big family party or anything like that, I just opted against it this year. And usually I'm the big party person. I mean, the last big birthday party I had, or the last two big, like the epic parties, the ones that end in zeros and fives. I've had huge parties at the show, surrounded myself with family and friends. They were amazing, but this year I'm just not up for it. So Donna says, I just went out for dinner with a friend this year. Jen says, you need your alone time with your husband. Take some time for yourself. That is a great birthday plan. Carrie says, Jane. Exactly. So we'll see what happens. But wanted to keep you guys kind of up to date with everything, because I know that a few months ago I had kind of warned everybody that the big birthday was coming and kind of hinted that maybe I had some big plans in the works. I just didn't see everything happening since May, since my mom got COVID, seeing her disease get so much worse because of it, and especially seeing the last month and how hard things have been. And I just not up for it. William says, when you need a break from life, just take it. Exactly. And there will be cake, and there will be plenty of pictures and video, and God only knows what Sully and the guys have in store in Vegas as well. So, so that's what's going on. So before I get out of here, because I I'm dying right now. Like I can't, these lights are fucking killing me. I want to let you guys know that next week is episode 200 and I'm really excited about it. Again, it would have been nice to take the show on the road and celebrate 200 episodes, but it just hasn't been possible. We are going to celebrate together next week, and I'm going to have a very special guest, and that's all I'm going to tell you guys. So I will see you guys next week for episode 200 of Cocktails in the War Room. Don't forget, episode 117 of the Mistress Carrie podcast goes live tonight at midnight, featuring tunes from John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band. Super excited about it. And cheers, guys. Thanks for all the love. Thanks for all the understanding. Thanks for hanging out with me while I sweat my fucking ass off. And I'll see you guys next week. Good night, guys. Say good night, Wednesday.